good pigeon that's motivated, that comes from a happy loft and has the love of home, will beat a super pigeon that has no motivation and comes from an unhappy loft. Pigeon's very territorial. Once a pigeon decides he wants to have that perch, he'll defend it with his life. And this is what a pigeon comes home to, this environment that he lives in.
Love for the territory is so important because pigeons are like us humans. We also love our home, and animals and other birds, and pigeons are quite the same, and people should be more aware of that.
Another point that a lot of fanciers overlook is rest. Racing pigeons need rest. And a fancier whose pigeons aren't in condition and he decides to work them, take them training in his car day after day to bring that condition, most certainly won't get them into condition. And he'll be one of the easiest people to fly against on the race day. Cleaning 2-3 times a day disturbs the pigeons. They're not happy. I know it looks nice, but it's not that important.
If you're lying in the house at night having a bit of a snooze or having a bit of a rest, somebody opened the door, banging the door, in and out, talking. You don't want anybody in and out at all. You want a relaxing time, don't you? Like, pigeons are the same, exactly the same. Need to relax and rest.
Health is very important, but the love of home is also very important. You can have health, but without the love of home, which creates the motivation in a pigeon, you don't get the results. The Belgians, they look to the pigeon's throat and they call it the motor. You wonder why they call it the motor. But when you think about it, the throat, it's got to be called a motor, because this is how the oxygen gets into the pigeon. Without oxygen, he can't perform. It has to go into his body, into his lungs, then into his bloodstream. And then that's where the energy comes from. I think it's been found that a pigeon beats his wings in 1 hour 35,000 times. That's a hell of a lot of work. The oxygen has got to come into the body to help him do this. He's got to fill his air sacs, breathe out, breathe in, fill his air sacs, breathe out, breathe in. I think he has to do that every time he flaps his wings. So everything must be 100%. So the more perfect that pigeon's throat is, the more perfect the motor is. It's very important when you look at the throat of a pigeon, that the pigeon is calm. I like to close all the cockbirds in their nest box the evening before and then go in the loft the following morning with my book and take each one carefully in my hand. When I open a pigeon's mouth, which I must stress, you have to do very, very carefully. You don't go in it like a bull in a china shop and wrench the pigeon's mouth open. You look very carefully and you look to the back of the mouth. And at the back of the mouth there is a curtain. And the curtain is in 2 parts, just like they've been pulled together. What you want is one where they're put together and hanging dead straight and you can barely see the line. Open a little bit, doesn't matter too much, but hanging at a wrong angle and open too wide, creased, no. It's got to be right straight in the middle, a line, and the curtain nice and even both sides. And that is the perfect throat. And you don't see too many. You don't see too many.
The old distance thinking was all beans and peas, or beans, peas and tares, which were marketed as channel mixtures. Well, actually you were doing exactly opposite to what you need to be.
I think a lot of fanciers fail to think just how much effort a pigeon puts in when he's racing. If you look how many times a pigeon's wing beats in a minute, I think it's something like 600 times in a minute or something like that. You can imagine the amount of effort and energy needed to do that. You have to put the fuel in the way of food. That's your petrol, so to speak.
Then the most important is give light food. It's not necessary that you or me, that we go all days to the restaurant, because on 1 month we are sick. That's also by the pigeons. So light food.
If they could come back now and see how fast pigeons come from 400, 500 miles on these light mixtures, carbohydrate and fats, they'd be astounded.
But the food doesn't want to be too strong, too rich, too much protein.
Even I can go back when 12 hours was nothing from Nance, and that was flying 360, 365 miles. There'd be 12 hours leading pigeons, and you'd get a few on the day. Now, I mean, they come as if they're coming from 50 miles, if it's anything like a day. It's just a total turnaround completely.
Light food, and that is the most important. Because with my food you cannot give too much. They stop when they come on the barley. That's good word. They stop then. And when they stop on with barley, then you said, I am away to tomorrow, I come tomorrow back.
Modern racing pigeons quite different from the old racing pigeon. It's more an athlete and smaller, especially at the back. First thing you should look at is the shape. The bird should look like a pear, like I told you before. Normally it's smaller. The heads of the cocks are more hen-like than in the past. They have bigger heads. And the balance is very important. When I handle a bird, automatically the first thing I do is push the breastbone a little bit. If the beak opens, it's a poor bird, or it's in poor shape, poor health. Then check the balance, just 1 second if it has a good balance. Then open the wing. The flights, the last flights should be rounded here, not like a scissors, a little bit rounded. Yeah. And of course, these feathers should be on top of each other. This means it's good condition. When it is like this, it's bad condition. That's no condition. They should be on top of those small feathers.
Get my main racing system, just email me direct. I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me. A comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeon's drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with.